evening and welcome to the 7 o'clock news here on CNC3. I'm Charlene Ramdani. In the headlines tonight, 4 people are murdered in less than 24 hours. The National Security Minister says the country's crime problem has made him angry. He's now vowing to intensify his pursuit of criminals. The traffic plan in parts of Western Trinidad rolls out but gets a mixed reception. Also tonight, it's a culinary competition like no other. The pot spoon throwdown makes waves in Mayaru. And in sports, the West Indies defeat New Zealand in the 5th ODI encounter in St. Kitts to score a 4-1 series win. Top of the news tonight. With 4 murders in less than 24 hours, National Security Minister Jack Warner says he is now angry by the level of crime in this country. Minister Warner today visited the home and community of murdered Gonzales activist Wayne Oliveira and promised more aggressive action against criminals. Cameron Vern Tikasing and reporter Chester Zambrano were in Gonzales and bring you this report.
The Gonzales community has been left in a state of shock. The man, who once lobbied for peace in the area, gunned down with over 20 bullets. National Security Minister Jack Warner described the killing as painful, particularly because just last week, Wayne Oliveira came to him seeking help with the crime problem in the Belmont area.
And 1 week after, he's dead. Now, you understand when I tell you all, I'm getting angrier and angrier daily. You can understand.
Minister Warner is also distressed to learn that a police patrol was only several feet away from the killing and did not respond in a timely manner.
Now, that cannot make sense either. And that will have to have another investigation because this is happening far too often.
There was also a concern over a non-functional police post in the area. Mr. Warner says the mere fact that this Gonzales murder took place just mere meters away from an inactive police station proves that all police stations must remain open.
Anybody who goes by police stations doesn't understand the culture of the people living here. And that's the last thing I would say on this matter. My police stations and police posts must remain open.
Port of Spain Mayor Louis Leasing, who was also on hand, is confident that the crime situation would be dealt with.
Sometimes I believe things have to get worse before they get better.
Mayor Leasing took Minister Warner to the underutilized Gonzales police post, and the minister promised it will be fully opened within 1 month. Minister Warner also assured that his new crime-fighting plan would now be released even sooner than initially planned. For CNC3, I am Chester Zambrano.
Meantime, the murder count now stands at 225, with 4 murders which took place today. The bloodletting began at the stroke of midnight as police responded to the sound of gunshots at Farm Road and Rich Plain, Digomartin. There they found the body of Henry Thomas of Rich Plain, Digomartin, dead with gunshots to his head. Police believe it was a reprisal shooting. And police expect to make arrests soon in connection with a triple murder in Karapu. 3 men, Ricardo Marshall, Anil Harry and Nigel Jack, were shot dead by 2 men this morning following a heated argument. We have more from Samuel McKnight.
Fear has once more gripped the tiny rural village of Karapu Arima as 3 men were gunned down just after 8 Monday morning. Dead of former murder accused Ricardo Marshall, Anil Harry and Nigel Jack, all of Simon Road. The 3 were shot in close proximity to their home after they reportedly got into an argument with 2 men. Marshall and Harry lived at the same address. Reports suggest Marshall's wife, who witnessed the shooting, was spared by the gunmen. Concerned about the safety of the survivors, a relative of the victims, Kellyanne Ramkisoon, wants police protection.
Ricardo and Anil used to provide for the family. And now that the both of them has been taken away from the family, my main concern is what will happen to my cousin and her children. And seeing that she saw her attacker, I would like to know what the police or the country or whatever is doing to protect her and her family.
Another relative, Ann Harry, wants more action from the government in dealing with crime.
Government had to do something with crime in the backyard, you know. The backyard crime is out of hand, you know. They talking about lava until all over. The backyard out of hand. Is every day somebody gas tank going, somebody stove going, somebody little child chain going.
Councillor for the area, Jenna Rupnarine, is upset about the murders in the community and wants a neighborhood watch group set up as well as more police patrols in the area. For CNC3, I am Samuel McKnight.
And a minus grade is being given for the new traffic scheme in St. James and Arapita Avenue, which took effect this morning. The grade comes from Works and Infrastructure Minister Emmanuel George, who says the plan was almost perfect with the exception of a few issues. But with officials aiming to have the scheme become a permanent traffic plan, the minister is calling for patience and he is warning taxi drivers that there's no need to increase fares. We have more from Kamal Georges.
The Roxy Roundabout, George Cabral and Patna Streets providing access to Long Circular Mall and Mucarapo Road. The three hiccup areas, according to Works and Infrastructure Minister Emmanuel George, to the experimental traffic scheme.
The third area, which was a little bit of a surprise to us, was Mucarapo Road. In attempting to traverse Mucarapo Road, the traffic we encountered began way beyond, I don't want to advertise for the people, but way beyond Hot Shop.
Minister George says more police and traffic wardens will be placed at trouble spots like Roxy Roundabout to direct motorists in the right direction. Motorists heading east on a morning are also advised to make greater use of Arapita Avenue's 4 eastbound lanes to ease the congestion on Mucarapo Road. But despite the teething problems, officials at the ministry believe with familiarization, the plan will be a success.
We see that it's becoming a success, but we need to still keep evaluating the situation and where we can address all concerns.
CNC3 understands only 18 traffic wardens were deployed on Monday to assist the police in rolling out the plan. Roughly $1 million was also spent on erecting traffic signs and other signage. Minister George also cautioned taxi drivers against increasing their fares. Any such move, he says, is unjustified.
If your times to travel a certain distance will be reduced by the implementation of this scheme, then it means that taxi drivers will make more trips for the day.
Minister George says once the plan reduces traffic time for motorists, it will become permanent. For CNC3, I am Kamal Georges.
Well, our reporter Kamal Georges has been covering the story. He was at the centre of the new traffic scheme all day today, and he went to the Roxy Roundabout for the rush hour traffic just a short while ago to get a first-hand look at how the new plan worked in the hours when it mattered the most.
Well, it's just about 5:30 here at the Roxy Roundabout and what is considered to be peak traffic time heading in a westerly direction. Now, as you would have known, the Western Main Road and Tragreet Road would have been transformed into one-way traffic heading westerly. But what you're seeing is that when you have 4 lanes of traffic coming down from Tragreet Road, when it approaches this roundabout, it creates this bottleneck. So you're having 4 lanes of traffic being converged into 1 or 2, and that is causing serious traffic pileups as far back as the Oval, from what we understand. But it's interesting though, because earlier, probably let's say between 3 and 4, we would have made this trip from Port of Spain all the way into St. James, and it took us probably between 15 to 20 minutes, a trip that would normally have taken you about 30 to 45 minutes. But what you're seeing now is that as the traffic volume is increasing and they're approaching this bottleneck, that it's creating a lot of traffic pileups as far back, as I said, as the Oval. Now, we would have spoken to 1 or 2 motorist taxi drivers who would have gotten stuck in this area. Here's what some of these motorists had to say.
I find it's a waste of time, man. Bring it back in normal way. We can't go through this.
What's the problem?
Same traffic and passengers and them being stranded. You understand what I'm saying? We need to do something better than that.
Put it back as it is and no parking on either side of the road. In the text.
This is the worst plan anybody could have ever come up with. They were not clearly thought out. Look at the bottleneck we're coming to. It's stupid, and the minister had the gall to tell us it was a success. I don't know where he get that from.
It's the worst traffic plan ever created in history in Trinidad and Tobago. Whoever did this sitting on the head.
Why? What is so bad about it?
Every back street is backed up from top to bottom. This plan has no common sense. 4 lanes to one lane around a roundabout. Come on, it ain't making sense.
And that's the story which takes us to your vote. The question we'd like to ask you to vote on tonight. Based on what you've seen, do you think the new traffic scheme in parts of Western Trinidad can be described as a success? Well, text your response to the number 2623. If your response is yes, you're texting the letter Y, and if your response is no, you're texting the letter N. We'll give you an update on the voting during the newscast and the final results at the end of tonight's news, and it's safe to say those motorists Kamal spoke to earlier will be texting in no. Well, starting from tonight right up to Independence Week, we want you to vote for the most influential person over the last 50 years. Every night, we unveil one of the most 50 influential personalities from when the country gained independence in 1962 right up to present day in 2012. You can vote via text to 2623. Look out in the rest of tonight's newscast. We'll be unveiling some of those personalities so you can start to vote in from tonight. Well, Port of Spain Mayor Louis Leasing says he is pleased with the new Woodbrook-St. James traffic plan on the first morning of its implementation. Mayor Leasing was out on the road very early this morning to get a first-hand view of the traffic. Cameraman Vern Tikasing was there, and Chester Sembrano reports.
How long it took you to come down?
5 minutes.
Wow.
From Diego Martin.
From Diego Martin?
Yes.
Probably about 5 minutes from St. James area.
Yes.
Coming all the way down there, 5 minutes.
Is it an improvement?
Much better improvement, much better.
Okay. How long it took you to come down? 10 minutes, something like that. Fantastic.
From as soon as the sun was up on Monday morning, Port of Spain Mayor Louis Leasing hit the streets to do his own assessment of the new traffic plan. Many changes took place in the Woodbrook and St. James area, but after talking to a number of motorists, Mayor Leasing was confident the plan was already producing results.
The response has been overwhelming. People are saying to me they're taking 5 minutes to come from Diego Martin. Others are saying they're taking 10 minutes to come from Glencoe.
He admits to CNC3 News that there were some kinks still to be worked out.
A number of people are still using Mukarapa Road to head east. And naturally, you are coming to a conflict point.
However, Mayor Leasing believes the 3-month plan could be a permanent solution to the traffic problems in Western Trinidad.
I remain optimistic that the plan, as we iron out the kinks in it, would become a comprehensive plan that can remain in force.
He says all complaints and suggestions would be taken into consideration and dealt with accordingly. For CNC3, I am Chester Sambrano.
Well, I'm happy to bring you some good news now. CNC3 News will be starting our Olympic coverage from tomorrow night because Roger Sant has left for London today. So from tomorrow, we'll be getting stories from London on our team there. They're in Cardiff, Wales. But for the next couple of weeks, sports anchor Astil Wren will be your sports anchor. So he's here in studio to get us going. Astil.
Well, yes, thank you so much, Charlene. Well, coming up in our sportscast, well, athletes, they have started to arrive in London for the big day on July 27th. They have just about 11 days to go. We have a story on that, and we also have a story on the West Indies. They're scoring a 4-1 series win in St. Kitts. All these stories and more in our sportscast.
Right, I'll still see you a bit later. Let me remind you of tonight's Your Vote question. At this time, the question we're asking you to vote on tonight is, based on what you've seen, do you think the new traffic scheme in parts of Western Trinidad can be described as a success? Text your response to the number 2623. If your response is yes, you're texting the letter Y, and if it's no, the letter N. We'll give you an update on the voting as we go along, and the final vote at the end tonight. Just ahead on the CNC3 News at 7, 2 men denied bail after appearing in court for major bank skimming fraud. The Board of Inland Revenue wants the property tax back. A budding local lawyer wins an international competition. And later tonight, bring out your taste buds. We'll tell you where all the top chefs and cooks were this weekend. This is the CNC3 News at 7.
There's nothing quite like being made to feel special. Like you're the top of someone else's personal hit parade. That's how First Citizens wants each and every customer to feel. Whether it's through innovative products and services, new technologies, or a simple smile, we're always thinking about ways to make your day better and your life a little easier. First Citizens, we put you first.
Whether it's for the best tasting breads, cakes and pastries or doubles, pizza and paratha roti, you need to start with premium flour. Nutrimix and Country Pride flour are nothing less than premium products manufactured to the highest standards. Available in 2 and 10 kilogram sizes from supermarkets nationwide, our range of flour was developed for its superior taste and nutritional value. We have the right flour for your family's every need. Nutrimix and Country Pride flour. Superior quality, honest prices.
Welcome back. 2 men from St. Helena, Piarco have been remanded into custody after appearing in court charged with over 20 counts of fraud. 18-year-old Aaron Ramlal and 24-year-old Rajendranath Singh both appeared before Port of Spain Magistrate Marcia Moro charged with 42 counts of fraud. The court heard that on June 29th, July 1st and 2nd, the men allegedly committed fraudulent acts at Republic Bank and RBC Bank in Port of Spain, Sangre Grande, Arima and Tunapuna, obtaining $16,000 in the Port of Spain area alone. The court heard that money was taken from customers' accounts by way of using fraudulent debit cards and by suspects knowingly causing machines to perform functions to obtain information from the banks. Although the pair were granted bail in the sum of $200,000, they were remanded into custody until they appear in all areas Magistrates Court where they are said to have committed the offences. The government of Trinidad and Tobago has lost more than $500 million in revenue after the property tax legislation was axed. Chairman of this country's Inland Revenue Department, Deoki Hossain, says it's time the legislation returns. We have more from Ria Rambali.
Property tax has not been collected since January 2010, and according to Chairman of Inland Revenue, Deoki Hussain, the state sacrificed quite a substantial sum of revenue.
We used to raise about $300 million.
Speaking with CNC3 News following the 22nd General Assembly of Tax Administrators on Monday, Hussain admitted that the state must move quickly in bringing back legislation to have citizens pay taxes on properties. She believes that with subtle changes to rates, the government will be able to double its revenues.
With other changes and becoming more efficient in terms of ensuring that some properties that were not taxed because of slight variations in the law, we can go anywhere up to about 600 million, and I think we need that money. So I'm really hoping that it comes into play this year.
Hussain believes that citizens have a mental block to the legislation after the People's Partnership heavily campaigned against it. However, she says that's about to change. According to Hussain, the systems put in place to collect property tax have been working in the past 2 years to computerize its information, and says it may take approximately 5 more years before the department comes up to speed. However, she is adamant that land and building taxes are necessary. She's hoping the revised legislation will be reintroduced before 2013. For CNC3, I'm Ria Rambly.
Time now for charting a new course, and tonight we feature the Montrose Preschool Graduation 2012 and the Maria Regina Grade Prep School. It's time now for some positive vibes, and tonight we look at the achievements of a local law student who beat out other budding lawyers for the title of Best Defense Counsel at a criminal mooting competition.
Tonight's Positive Vibes segment is brought to you by Nescafe.
Russell Warner, a second-year student and member of the Hugh Wooding Law School team, defeated top-tier international competitors to take the first-place trophy for the Best Defense Counsel at the recent International Criminal Court mooting competition held at The Hague in the Netherlands. Warner was a member of a team which included Johan Dufflin from Grenada, Kevin Webster from Barbados, Mansir Griffith from Trinidad, and coach Roger Ramgulam, Trinidad course director of Hugh Wooding Law School. This was Hugh Wooding's first entry into this competition. The teams presented presented arguments based on a hypothetical situation using principles of international criminal law applied by the International Criminal Court and based on the Rome Statute of which Trinidad and Tobago is a signatory. The Hugh Whitting Law School team qualified as the sole representative from the Caribbean region. In winning the award, Russell Warner beat several international entrants from the USA, Osgoode Hall Law School Canada, Miami University and the University of Hong Kong.
Tonight's Positive Vibes segment was brought to you by Nescafe.
And it's time now for What You Saw, where our viewers send us video and pictures to the email address news@cnc3.co.tt.
These first set of pictures sent to us by Deborah, who says this was Tragridge Road at approximately 11:30 a.m. on Monday. Deborah says school is out, but what's going to happen in September? Deborah says all traffic comes to a head at the Roxy roundabout, which caused the traffic to back up along Tragridge Road. She asks, is the plan working? Only time will tell.
Of course, everybody's concerned about that new traffic plan in Westport. There's been thousands of people affected. Well, remember, you too can send us your photos and pictures to the email address news@cnc3.co.tt. And let me remind you of tonight's Your Vote question at this time. The question we're asking you to vote on is, based on what you've seen, like in the What You Saw just now, do you think the new traffic scheme in parts of Western Trinidad can be described as a success? So you're texting your response to the number 2623. If your response is yes, you're texting the letter Y, and if it's no, the letter N. We'll give you an update on the voting after the sportscast with Astil and the final results at the end of our newscast tonight. And good news for the West Indies today. I'm so happy, Astil.
Very good news indeed. First time, well, a series win. It's big news indeed, and I'm sure all around the Caribbean there is celebration tonight. Well, coming up in this evening's sportscast, the West Indies score a resounding one-day series win over New Zealand in St. Kitts. Fun is the main focus in Community Sports Clinic. 3 of this country's fittest women get ready for the 9th Sports World Bodybuilding and Miss Fitness Classic. And athletes, they start arriving in London for the 2012 London Olympic Games. All next on Sport.
Stream, share faster than ever before on Digicel's super-fast 4G network. It's summer in 4G. Get your smartphone with a smart plan on the smartest network in TNT. Sign up for our newest postpaid smart plans now. Plus, for a limited time, get 1 month subscription free and 4G smartphones for $199. Be extraordinary. Digicel.
Candy launches its 12G. Enjoy 12 pieces of refreshment anytime and anywhere. So convenient, so affordable, so cool. Experience the Blast 12G of Mint Explosion, Ice Blast, and Dino Blast. It's fast, powerful, and refreshing. Only $4.99. Available everywhere. Call 636-2360 extension 246 for the Mint Experience. KC Candy. We make every moment sweeter. The difference between seeing and living the Olympic Games. No one gives you more excitement, more hours, or more DirecTV HD content. Now get your DirecTV hooked up for only $99.
You really like your Subway? How come?
Well, I love fresh salads.
I love the breakfast too.
I love the foot long. I love mine cut right through.
I love my Subway with all the fresh veggies. I love the healthy choice. I love it everywhere.
I love mine toasted quick. And then they really care.
I love my Subway.
Prepare just how I say.
I really love my Subway.
I love fresh homemade bread. I love mine stuff just right. I love their awesome team. I love mine in the night. I love my Subway with all the choice of meats.
Shaving can irritate skin, causing dark marks to become visible. Dove has the effective solution. New Dove Clear Tone Antiperspirant with calendula and sunflower seed extracts. It moisturizes to help accelerate natural skin renewal processes, helping skin to repair itself while still keeping you dry. The result? Underarms with visibly reduced dark marks and an even tone. New Dove Clear Tone.
I believed in myself. I knew I was going to make my country proud. Was I scared? No. It was my proudest moment. I felt I was on top of the world. What makes me proud about Trinidad and Tobago? The belief in ourselves and the ability to win, despite the odds. What are you proud about? Tell us on Twitter by tweeting #I4TNT.
Where there's love for country, there's energy. Where there's energy, there's BPTT.
Series win for the West Indies in the 5-match one-day international series against New Zealand today. The West Indies won the 5th one-day fixture at Warner Park in St. Kitts to score a resounding series win. It was the first time for the West Indies captain Darren Sammy in quite a long while. While spinner Sula Narayan, he had a 5-wicket haul.
To mid-off.
Johnson Charles gave the West Indies an optimistic start with this huge 6.
There he goes.
Chris Gale, for the second time in as many one-day matches, went cheaply, being caught by Rob Nichol of Tim Southey for 5, 1 for 23. Charles had a soft dismissal caught by Nichol of Southey for 15, 2 for 32. The hard-hitting Dwayne Smith also fell cheaply, being led before to Southey. The decision was upheld after Smith asked for a referral, 3 for 37. Marlon Samuel and Dwayne Bravo repaired the damage somewhat with a partnership of over 50.
That's not going to stay with us.
But with the partnership getting to 97, Samuels was brilliantly caught by Martin Guptill of Southey for 43, 4 for 97. Kyron Pollard didn't last long as he was caught by Guptill of Kate Williamson for 7, 5 for 105 of 27 overs, and the West Indies struggling. Wicketkeeper Devon Thomas took the score to 157 before Thomas fell to Andrew Ellis, caught by Southey for 20, 6 for 157. West Indies captain Darren Sammy went 3 runs later, caught by Latham of Mills for 2, 7 for 160. Dwayne Bravo, who held the innings together, became Andrew Ellis' second wicket. He made 53, 8 for 180. Andre Russell came in and played a hard-hitting innings, clubbing 3 sixes and 6 fours during his 40-ball stay at the crease. The West Indies went on to make 241 for 9 of their 50 overs, with Russell scoring 59. New Zealand, in reply, were also off to a poor start, losing Rodney Nicol with a score on 2. He made just 2. Martin Guptill and Brendan McCollum had a 62-run partnership until McCollum was caught by Sammy off Narayan for 33, 2 for 64. Guptill was trapped leg before to Narayan for 33, 3 for 77. Skipper Russ Taylor was unfortunately stumped by Devon Thomas of Samuels for 28, 4 for 108. Flint fell 1 run later, caught by Sammy of Tino Best for no score. Graham was next to be dismissed with a score on 6 for 140. He was caught by Thomas of the bowling of Bravo for 11. Williamson, who led the Kiwis' revival, was caught by Gale of the bowling of Narayan for 69, 7 for 208. Ellis went with a score on 212 for 8. He was bowled by Narayan for 28. Mills was also bowled by Narayan for 1, 213 for 9. And last man Bolt was caught by Pollard of Bravo, and look at Bravo's reaction. New Zealand all out for 221, West Indies winning by 20 runs. Sunil Narayan, for his 5 for 27 of 10 overs, was named man of the match. Well, the Community Sports Clinic puts the fun in the functional movement as it seeks to educate young athletes from the age of 7 to 18 on the mental and physical awareness in sport. The clinic, which is in its first year, is a brainchild of athletic trainer Asha De Freitas, and she has brought in expert help in Trinidadian psychologist Camu Laird and functional movement expert Carlos Salvador. Jassy Marique visited the clinic at St. Mary's Grounds and files this report.
Better understanding of the body and better utilization of the mind. This is the goal of the Community Sports Clinic, which focuses on functional movement and mental awareness.
The focus is not to be sport specific. In most land-based sports, the one thing that is common is running forward, running backwards, running side to side. And what happens a lot is that those basic, those fundamental movements in sport is sometimes neglected. This, I thought, was one way to develop the youth focusing on their mechanics, so that from young their movements are more fluid, it's accurate, it's precise, but also too with the brain training aspect of it, which is Camu's part, they'll be learning how to tap into their mental energy.
De Freitas, an athletic trainer by trade who has worked with some of the country's top sporting talents, has assembled a strong team. Camu Laird, a clinical psychologist, is assisting with mental and neuromuscular conditioning.
A lot of us work in the body all the time, body getting stronger, getting fitter. I mean, while the brain comes along for the ride, but not consciously. So the brain is not getting that opportunity to also be exercised and also try and learn itself. So this is what we're trying to do here.
Key phrase there, at the same time. An Angolan living in the UK who is a well-known functional movement specialist.
When you're involved in the highest level in terms of professional sport, you'll be accustomed to this type of approach. I think it's very dependent on where you are in the world as to how much they do. But I think functional movement and neuromuscular training, as well as the brain training, is very important for any athlete, whether that be from grassroots, as we're doing here today, all the way through to adults.
Reporting for CNC3 Sports, I am Jassy Marique.
Well, the 9th Sports World Bodybuilding Classic comes up this weekend, and carded to guest poses world #1, Phil Heath. Well, there are 3 female competitors with 1 goal and 3 different stories. 3 women, 1 goal, but different stories. Shani Rock is no stranger to the Sports World Classic. Having had a very good year last year, she finished 2nd in the Classic, but this time around, she has her eyes on the main goal. But there are other challenges.
It's a little more tedious than last year because I'm really trying to improve on the things that I saw were not wrong, but a little off. and I think I have achieved that this year. I look better than I did last year and the year before that, which is a big accomplishment in my eyes.
Madonna Corian is no rookie to the Classic. She placed third last year and wants to win this time around. Corian gives a sneak preview into her build-up to the show on the big night.
Not much sleep involved. You spend most of your hours night before the show probably fine-tuning your routine on stage, making sure that your poses are spot on, at least for me. Probably doing things like putting finishing touches on the suit that you're going to wear on the day, packing stuff, making sure that you have everything in order. It is a difficult task, and you probably don't sleep until the weekend after the show properly, probably on Monday morning.
And first-timer Rachel Friday is a fitness instructor. She says she's doing the show to please her clientele.
Every single client of mine, everyone I know, they would always ask the question, why have you never been on stage? And I would be like, I don't know. And it's like, what are you training for? And I would be like, to stay fit. So I said, well, I just made up my mind, like, let's say about 6 months ago. I said, I'll make up my mind.
Well, it's 11 days to go before the start of the London 2012 Olympic Games. Athletes have started arriving, and how the city and the airport, well, how they are going to cope with the additional demands. Organizers have been planning and preparing for this upcoming global event. We have more in this report.
Heathrow is the host airport for the 2012 Olympics. 80% of all Games visitors will be passing through here, so it's a testing time for the airport.
We've been planning for the last 7 years. We've been learning as much as we can from the other host airports. So we've been to Beijing and Vancouver and Athens and Sydney and learned what they can do.
Following mounting criticism about the length of immigration queues at Heathrow, there have been assurances from the Home Office that there'll be extra passport staff and priority channels for athletes and officials. But it's not just passengers the airport's handling. With Olympians comes a lot of luggage of all shapes and sizes. The airport carried out training exercises earlier this year to cope with all the excess baggage. Once reunited with their kit, buses pick the athletes up and ferry them to the Olympic Village along special games lanes, the first of which came into operation on the M4 this morning. So after years of planning, London 2012 is finally on its way.
Well, for the fourth time this year, the Tour de France, a French rider has claimed a stage victory. The 15th stage took the riders a distance of 158.5 kilometers today. At the end of it, Bradley Wiggins was able to hold on to the leader's yellow jersey.
Rigaud gave the home fans their fourth win of the Tour de France when he won the 158.5-kilometer 15th stage between Saint-Martin and Pau on Monday. Race leader Bradley Wiggins of Britain retained the overall leader's yellow jersey as he and the peloton finished almost 12 minutes adrift. Tuesday is a rest day ahead of two more grueling mountain stages in the Pyrenees. The 20th and final stage takes place on Sunday with the culmination of the race in Paris.
And with just days away before the start of the London 2012 Olympic Games, the focus is shifting towards the 2008 defending champions and London hopefuls in all the sporting disciplines. The USA basketball team, with its NBA stars, fall in both categories. And tonight, they face Brazil in a warm-up fixture in Washington, D.C.
Well, for this game, we want to try to, see what we can do to counter their size. They have, three big guys, maybe four. That are very talented and skillful. So that's a great test for us to see what we can do.
I think the very first thing is we have to make sure we're ready. So we have to make sure we don't beat ourselves by not being ready. In a one-game shot, you can lose to anybody. And so we have to be ready to go. It's a different game, different ball, different number of minutes, different way the game is called. So it's not a 7-game series.
And for this evening's Sports High, we go back to today's 5th One-Day International at Warner Park in St. Kitts.
Think of Chris Gale's attributes, and agile and nimble certainly don't come to mind. Well, have a look at this bit of work in the field today. The big right-hander went sharply to his right to pick this one out of nowhere. It also gave Sunil Narayan 1 of 5 wickets today. Hats off to the Gale-Narayan combination.
as this bit of brilliance is tonight's Sports High.
Well, we asked you earlier, name the West Indies batsman who is referred to as Mr. Dependable during his playing days. If your answer is D, you are correct. Larry Gomes played many crisis innings for the West Indies and pulled the regional team from many tight spots. So Larry Gomes is the man who is known as Mr. Dependable. Well, we take a break, and when we come back, we continue with more news.
Tonight, time to eat. The pot spoon throwdown rolled into Mayara and brought out all the top chefs and their tasty meals. We'll have all the mouth-watering details for you later. Let's get an update on the Your Vote before we go to break. The question you're voting on tonight is based on what you've seen. Do you think the new traffic scheme in parts of Western Trinidad can be described as a success? From your responses so far, 19% of you have voted in yes, it was a success for you, while 81% of you, well, you didn't think so. It perhaps caused you to be in more traffic than usual. But remember, that's not the end of tonight's Your Vote. You still have a chance to get your vote in if you haven't taken part. So be sure to get your vote in. So stay with us. We have more news for you after this break.
Widely regarded as the father of the nation, Dr. Eric Williams was the country's first Prime Minister, serving from 1956 until his death in 1981. He was also a noted Caribbean historian. Williams, on January 15, 1956, Dr. Williams inaugurated his own political party, the People's National Movement, which would take Trinidad and Tobago into independence in 1960 and dominate post-colonial politics. In 1961, the PNM under Dr. Williams introduced the Representation of the People's Bill. The bill was designed to modernize the electoral system. In 1961, elections gave the PNM 57% of the votes and 20 of the 30 seats. The two-thirds majority allowed them to draft the Independence Constitution. Although supported by the Colonial Office, independence was blocked by the opposition DLP. Until Williams was able to make a deal with the DLP leader, Reginald Capildeo, Trinidad and Tobago thus became independent on August 31st, 1962.
The 50 most influential personalities since independence. We want your view via text on Facebook and online at 50tt.guardian.co.tt.
It's true. It has been proven that coffee is a natural source of antioxidants because it comes from coffee cherries. And like some other fruits, it provides an important amount of antioxidants. I drink several cups a day, and when I do it, I enjoy more than the aroma and the taste I love. Another good reason to drink Nescafe.
Fusion of cultures, peoples, artistry. Our hearts, our voices, our home. We move to the rhythm of our own beat.
From us, by us, for us. We got this. Innovation, affordability, caring customer service. B-Mobile, TNT's #1 mobile network.
Meet Jane. Jane is burning fat as we speak. Just adding dairy skimmed milk to her daily routine gives her the calcium she needs to burn calories more efficiently all day long. Plus, with a low-calorie diet and exercise, it helps her burn more tummy fat. So Jane not only looks better on the outside, but she feels pretty good too. Get the better benefits of milk with dairy skimmed milk. Dairy, the milky milk.
Who's buying foreign currency at competitive rates? Answer Merchant Bank. Knowledgeable, flexible, and internationally affiliated, we buy major currencies at competitive rates. Call us today. Foreign exchange? Answer Merchant Bank.
I think as an artist, it's important to know who you are and what you're for. So it's good to come back home
come back to base, to my roots. If we are a dot, let's be the most creative, passionate, energetic dot they've ever seen. I for that. It's just that amazing simplicity that I love about Trinidad that continues to inspire me. What are you proud about? Tell us on Twitter by tweeting I4TANDT.
Where there's love for country, there's energy. Where there's energy, there's BPTT.
We are touched by your smiles and your friendships, by your appreciation of the past and your ability to see the future. We're motivated by your drive and your willingness to try new things. We are fascinated that even though you are so very different, you still see yourself as so very much the same. We are energized by how hard you work and your ability to have a good time, by your pride and your passion. We are moved by your every new beginning and wonderful end. Every day we're inspired by your likes and your lives, and we'll continue to challenge ourselves to remain a big part of them both. Bermudez, the biscuits we love.
It's so pumpy! Wow! Minute Maid Pulpy is here. Refreshing orange juice drink with real fruit pulp. Pulp up your life with new Minute Maid Pulpy.
We now go across to Eric Mackey for a look at your weather. Eric.
Thank you, Charlene. Well, we certainly had some weather over the weekend, both on Saturday and Sunday. Sunday was restricted just to the morning time only, but we saw some rain and showers, isolated thunderstorm activity, and particularly on Sunday, we had those gusty winds. And at Crown Point, at one point, I think it was at 12:20 p.m., they recorded a gust as high as 38 knots. That had some problems both here in Trinidad and over there. There were one or two roofs blown off and a couple trees fell and all of that sort of stuff. But all that's gone now, and we're looking at fairly good conditions over the next couple of days. There's a tropical wave out in the Atlantic. It's pretty weak, and that's still a couple of days away. That looks like Wednesday into Thursday's weather. So tomorrow and Wednesday should be pretty good. We'll probably, though, get the little isolated shower in the afternoon and just a chance of a thunderstorm. The winds are going to be around 10 to 15 knots, going to gust to 20, and going to be out of an east-southeast to easterly direction. The seas are forecast to be 1.5 to 2 meters with a 7 to 8 second interval between the swells. They're out of a mostly easterly direction. The Gulf of Paria seas will be around 1 meter or less. Trinidad tonight's forecast will be mostly fair. There's a chance of an overnight shower tonight, so it'll be 24 degrees. Tomorrow, we're looking at mostly sunny conditions to start off, but it will become partly cloudy, one or two little isolated showers, and there's a chance of an afternoon thunderstorm and a high of 32. Crossing Tobago tonight, generally fair and a low of 25, and Tobago tomorrow, mostly sunny, chance of an isolated shower during the day and a high of 31. Sun's going to rise at 5:51 a.m. and sets at 6:32 p.m. The first high tide for Port of Spain is at 2:20 a.m. and for Scarborough 1:59. First low tide 9:14 a.m. for Port of Spain and 8:57 for Scarborough. And that's my weather report for now. We'll have a look at the travelers forecast and we take a short break, and when you come back, Charlie, and have some more news to you.
a great day. Got my ginseng up, hey. Let's focus, people. Come on and get it sorted. Get more out of your day. Get things done efficiently. Let's go with it. Come on and just drink it, people. Drink it up now. Drink it up now. Ginseng up now. Ginseng up now. Oh.
Enjoy the new look and same great taste today. Ginseng up, the roots of all power.
Smooth in, frizz out. Suave Professional's Keratin Infusion Shampoo and Conditioner is infused with keratin. It controls frizz for up to 48 hours. Salon proven to smooth as well as Kerastase Ban Oleo Relax.
Listen up, people, to this spot about rainbow products and why they're hot. Corned beef's not the only thing they've got, so put a rainbow in your pot. Canned and dried goods just for you. Vienna sausages and tuna too. Oil milk, rice, peas and carrots, so put a rainbow in your pot.
Now that's a lot.
That's right, I said a lot. So put a rainbow in your pot. Yeah, put a rainbow in your pot. Put a rainbow in your pot.
The Rainbow range of first-class food products. Available nationwide.
To alleviate traffic congestion in West Port of Spain, the Ministry of Works and Infrastructure is implementing an experimental traffic scheme in Woodbrook, St. James and their environs. Please take note of the new arrangements and plan your trips accordingly. The following are the one-way configurations in the St. James area. Western Main Road, one-way west, except for the section between Roxy Roundabout and Long Circular Road, which will remain two-way. Additionally, Western Main Road between the Cookreed Flyover and the traffic lights at George Cabral Street also remains two-way. Other changes include Church Street, one-way east, Quaminal Street, one-way west, Romeo Street, one-way north, Hyderabad Street, one-way east, Nizam Street between Panka Street and Hyderabad Street, one-way north, Bay Road, one-way south, Broad Street, one-way south, Matura Street, one-way south, and Wick Street, one-way south. All restrictions, including parking, are indicated by traffic signs throughout the scheme. For further details, please check the press, the ministry's website, and our Facebook page.
Need fishing gear? Yes, we have that too. With over 60 years experience, fishing rods, garden tools, paint, product spare parts, plumbing, bathroom, lumber, steel, and all other hardware supplies at competitive prices. Southern Wholesale Stores Limited. Visit our website or come in today at 185 Union Road, Marabella. Southern Wholesale Stores Limited. More than just a hardware.
Welcome back. The flavors of the southeastern villages of Trinidad were on display on Sunday as the Ministry of Tourism's second installment of the Pot Spoon Throwdown went to Mayaru. Here are some highlights. Mayaru is known for chip and seafood, but as the Pot Spoon Throwdown rolled into the community, the village chefs came out to battle for $7,500 in prize money and, best of all, bragging rights. On the menu were local comfort foods, kuku and roti. But the kuku was done a bit different by this group from Guayguayari as they flavored it with coconut and other secret spices.
We are preparing today our chip special, right, with a coconut fry, right, fish in a Caribbean sauce, right, so when kuku.
Cascadoo, another local favorite, was also served up. And it's clear a lot of effort goes into these menus and the competition. These chefs are serious about their food. Minister of Tourism Stephen Cady said community-based tourism cannot be ignored. He added the Pot Spoon Throwdown, which not only showcases food but other economic aspects of communities like craft, gives villages a chance to stand out, and this can translate to international tourist attention.
This community festival, which started last week in Lupino with a plethora of Spanish cuisine, is all part of our vision to generate interest and participation among our local citizenry in our heritage. As local travelers discover new places, the international visitors usually seek them out and follow.
The winner of the Throwdown also gets a chance to cook at the Taste TNT Food Festival later this year. We now take a short break. Stay with us.
Ashley uses Dove. Alex, ordinary soap. Would they switch?
Notice a difference? My skin is really tight. Soap leaves behind soap residue that can cause a tight, draggy feeling. With 1/4 moisturizing cream, Dove cleansers rinse cleaner than soap.
To be equal, to live in a society that responds to you without prejudice, to be treated fairly no matter what your background may be, regardless of race or religion, regardless of geographic location, gender, or any disability you may have. It's not just an idea we should live by, but an ideal that our children can look up to, that our communities can aspire to, that our employers must embrace. But it's more than that. It is the right of every citizen of Trinidad and Tobago. It is a right that is championed and upheld by the Equal Opportunity Commission. The EOC is about educating, breaking down barriers, and eliminating obstacles to truly empower people on the basis of their merit. This is the mission of the Equal Opportunity Commission of Trinidad and Tobago. Equality is everyone's dream. It's everyone's right.
Warranty, reliability, maintenance-free? Come to D. Rampersad & Company for Mac batteries, the cheapest in the market. D. Rampersad & Company Limited is the largest in automotive engineering machine shop and spare part supplies. We also provide resleeving, reboring, crankshaft grinding, and complete cylinder head services for Japanese auto parts like Mazda, Mitsubishi 4D56, and more. So come in or call us today.
There's one in all of us. Don't drink and drive.
I love what you drink.
Designate a friend so you can lime again. Be the one. A message from the Trinidad and Tobago Beverage Alcohol Alliance.
We now bring you a summary of the main international stories of today.
As the opposition set up a roadblock outside a major route into the city, clashes continue between government and rebel forces. Welcome to London. Athletes from all over the world begin arriving for the Olympics, right in the middle of a row over security for the Games. It's already sluggish. Now the International Monetary Fund warns the global economic recovery has weakened further.
What you've seen, do you think the new traffic scheme in parts of Western Trinidad can be described as a success? Well, 19% of you voted in yes, it was successful. 81% of you voted in no. We now come to the end of the 7 o'clock news here on CNC3. We thank you so much for joining us. I'm Charlene Ramdani. Have a good night.